They've been trying to get us on TV for years. No one can figure it out.
No one can figure it out. Everyone seems to think there's something for Opie and Anthony to do on television. We don't want to do putting cameras here in the studio because Howard's doing that. Imus is doing it now.
We would do that if we could get our own spin. You know, if we could come up with our own spin.
Yeah, if there's something a little more unique about it.
But no one has been able to figure out that spin yet.
I'd rather just have the cameras like that and actually do it and put it on the web because I really don't see that as a fucking television show. I see it as a web thing. So people could punch in, check the show out as we're doing it live. You don't have to worry about editing things down to find the exciting moments and do that for a show. You pop in, all 4 hours are online. You can watch when you want. Something's happening, you can pop in, things like that.
We've been trying to turn these cameras on that are in the studio. Washington watches us every day. And we're like, well, if you guys are watching us, let the fucking fans watch the show.
Yeah, just give them the URL.
It's overhead cameras. It's no big deal. You're not going to see anything too crazy. But, you know, hardcore fans would love to check in and see, oh, wow, that's where Ann sits. That's where Bill Burr is sitting.
And if we have something going on the console here,
whatever,
they could get in.
Yeah, but for some reason, we just can't figure that out.
Yeah.
One of the many things we still are trying to figure out.
Eating a bagel.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a bagel. Is that sesame?
It'll be as exciting as watching, paint drying. But still, there is an audience for it. People would check it out on the Internet.
But that's why I think it's more conducive to online than a television show.
Right. But our agent is just obsessed with this one production company. I don't even want to mention the name of these guys because they
had a good idea for you?
Because they have such problems that I don't want to be the one that destroys them.
Yeah.
They got such problems. And 2-3 years ago, we met with these guys because we had nothing else and we were reaching for anything. We had a really high-powered meeting with Comedy Central. We were supposed to take over the Man Show. We were about to negotiate with those guys, and then Viacom stepped in.
Same company that owned us for the radio. They're the ones that threw us off the air, so they pretty much didn't want us
on any of their properties.
Yeah.
And they own Comedy Central.
To this day, by the way, that's still going on.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want us on any of their properties.
Although Spike TV called yesterday, so we'll have to see what that's about. And I think that's still part of the Viacom family. I'm not positive. So we met with this low-level production company about 2 years ago. They had this idea that the more and more Ant and I looked at it, it's basically MythBusters. It's MythBusters.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love the MythBusters.
And 2 or 3 years ago, MythBusters didn't find an audience yet. MythBusters is a very big show now.
Yeah.
And we've had the guys on a few times. We love
Adam
them.
and Jamie,
we
very
love the
fun
show.
guys.
We love having them on the radio. But they're pitching this show that is basically MythBusters. And it was the same show they were pitching 2 years ago. And now they're revisiting it. And our agent got us involved with these guys again. So we're supposed to meet at their office yesterday at, 2 o'clock or whatever, so we show up. Anthony's already upstairs. I'm down on the sidewalk waiting for Anthony so we could, talk it over a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we know we're going into a disastrous situation.
Now, I just noticed. Now, we had been to other meetings. We went to a meeting at Telepictures, which you see the logo come up after a lot of the talk shows. A lot of the afternoon talk shows Telepictures did. I'm sure you've seen their logo. We've been to meetings there. When you walk into the Telepictures offices, the hallways are lined with those giant photos of the personalities that they handle. The shows that they have on.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie was part of Telepictures.
Some of those...
Jenny Jones.
Jenny Jones was one of them?
Telepictures.
All those judge shows.
All the judge shows.
Judge, whatever, schmuck.
Yeah. They were all just lined, the hallways lined, all the offices, a lot of movement going on. People walking around the hallways.
The latest furniture, well designed.
All modern looking.
And tip-top shape.
Tip-top of
all sorts of awards, like awards I don't even know.
There were Emmys.
Clios and Emmys.
And
gold records.
Gold records,
and they don't even do recording.
I saw an Oscar in the corner. I don't even know what that meant.
Have we gotten the point of professionalism across?
Yes, you
with
have.
this scene we're painting
of
here?
a top-notch TV production house?
Right.
Fake foliage in the corner.
Of course. The cleaned leaves. A little maid comes in every day and wipes the leaves down.
Sure.
Well, we walked in yesterday.
Well, can I pick up from... So I find out that you're already upstairs. And all right. So I go in what looks like a broken-down warehouse, basically. Just it was like a warehouse building.
Dude, that elevator was a one-person elevator.
Well, I was in there with...
It was so small.
I was in there with another guy, and I got to the floor.
Yeah.
And I just sat there, waiting for the door to open. He goes, oh, no.
You got to push it.
You got to push the door open. I'm like, oh, that's great.
It's one of these elevators that, like...
It's a freight elevator, basically, that they're making believe is a regular elevator, because this is the only space they could find in New York.
But it was
what
small.
I'm trying to say here.
It wasn't even a freight elevator where you could fit freight in it. There were 2 other people in there with me, and I swear to God, we were all touching each other.
Yeah,
it was
Anthony's
that small.
officially gay now.
Did they have like pictures of like snuff films
right.
that they had done on the walls?
So when you walk down the hallways, yeah, I remember this bitch. We offed her in Utah.
So I go through the door that is now the reception area, and it's all boxes and the secretary that's doing nothing. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, there was. I saw nothing on the walls except dirt. I noticed. Now people might joke that I'm germaphobe or clean freak or something. I'm absolutely not.
No, Anthony's not.
I'm really not. This place was so unkempt. It was just the floor looked like it hadn't been vacuumed ever. There was just dust from like the ceiling on it, like ceiling tile particles on the floor. Everything was covered in a layer of dust. Like it had just been sitting there. The lamps on the desks, completely dust-ridden. Everything, dust everywhere. Old wood paneling. It just looked like an old, like a boiler room.
I was gonna say, yeah.
You know where
you know how boiler room is like the low level of the stock market. Basically?
They set up banks of phones in these places until the cops come and arrest everybody,
and then they
just to sell them bad stock.
And then they go somewhere else.
And then they run off and set up camp somewhere else. But you're not worried about making the place look good.
Everything's written on like flash paper.
Yeah, so they can dump it in the waste paper basket and set it on fire.
So Ant's in there in the office getting the big pitch from the head muckety muck.
Yeah.
And his minions. And I walk into the office, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he goes, this guy goes, sit down. And he points to this chair that's like, how can you explain it?
It was like
see-through glass type of chair.
It was a chair you would see on Ronan Martin's Laugh-In. Or
Clockwork Orange?
Yeah, Clockwork Orange.
Very mid-'70s.
It was plexi. It was like, Lexan, whatever that see-through stuff is. Completely see-through, and that round, molded, modular, cut out of an eggshell-shaped thing type.
Taken from the set of Rhoda.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. You're Phil knows.
And that egg cut out of an egg-shaped thing is sitting on a trumpet bell type pedestal that's sitting on the floor, and it swivels.
And this guy is pointing to the chair, very proud of the chair, going, sit down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is he so excited about the chair?
Take a seat, me droogies.
So I sit down.
Food, all right.
So I sit down in the chair.
Don't call me dim no more.
And the guy goes, you know what you're sitting in? I'm like, no. Well, when we produced Puff Daddy's Making the Band or whatever that show was,
yeah,
number 2.
I don't even.
It wasn't even the original. We bought $100,000 worth of furniture, and they were going to just throw it all out. So we decided to take some of it back to the office. So that chair was used in the production of Making of the Band 2.
Ooh, now I'm flattered.
He's been bragging about the Making of the Band thing for many years. We cannot find any proof that he ever worked on the show, which is creepy.
I didn't even know that show came out yet.
Maybe it didn't. I don't know.
Dude, the killer thing about what they do or don't do or anything came when Opie asks them, hey, what are you working on now? Because when you go into a production company, you kind of like to know, if you can't see the pictures on the wall of all the personalities and all the shows, what they're working on at the moment. And the answer that came out,
He said he's doing a reality show based on a.
It's an equestrian reality show.
Equestrian reality show.
It's a reality show, people, based on horseback riding.
Horseback riding, and then
anything
like
else?
Olympic horseback riding,
And
Olympic style.
What were
horseback.
some of the other things he said?
The untitled Donnie Most project.
And then he's doing something for the Travel
Yeah,
Channel.
its tentative title is "I Still Got It."
Then there's something about
Where'd it go? Donnie Most in the 90s.